9 classified into 5 category. 9-1, 9-2, 9-3, 9-4, 9-5. What is 9-1? What is 9-2? What is 9-3? What is 9-4? What is 9-5? Taxability of e-commerce operator. In that 9-1, there is no main amendments, whereas in 9-2, there is still not there. 9-3 and 9-4, we have understood what are the items for which notified RCM will be applicable. For that, my dear lovable students, 9-3 actually classified into two categories: specified supply of services and goods. Now, the list of goods has been added to our syllabus. If you are receiving those specified goods, then the recipient is the person liable to pay GST on reverse charge basis. Okay? That list, since it has been added for the first time, that list is very important. We'll be first discussing those lists. What are the items of goods which are covered under section 9.3? Shall we? Number 1, cashew nut, not shelled or what? Peeled. That means raw cashew nut. They are talking, correct? Supplier of the goods is agriculturalist. Supplier of the goods is any registered person. Any? Registered person. So, you are a registered person. You are purchasing a nut, cashew nut, not shelled or peeled. Then, the recipient, being the registered person who are situated in the taxable territory, is the person liable to pay GST on reverse charge basis. Right? So, the first one, cashew nut, not shelled or peeled. Supplier is agriculturalist and recipient is any registered person located in the then the registered person located in the taxable territory is the person liable to pay GST on BD wrapper leaves, which is 10-2 leaves. BD wrapper leaves, correct? If you are purchasing BD wrapper leaves, who is the supplier? Agriculturalist again. Who is the recipient? Any registered person located in, then the registered person located in taxable territory is the person liable to pay. Number 3, tobacco leaves. Number 3, tobacco leaves. Tobacco means? Tobacco. Tobacco. Bodai porul. Pogai porul. Yes, sir. Patha. Yes, sir. Anubhavam பேசுகிறது. Tobacco leaves has been supplied by the agriculturalist. Has been supplied by the and the recipient is any registered person. And recipient is so number 1, cashew nut, not shelled or peeled. BD wrapper leaves, tobacco leaves. Following essential oils. Following other than those of citrus fruit. Other than those of number 1 of peppermint, sir, Menta pipertia, of other mint, sir, spearmint oil, ex mental, sir, spicata, water mint oil, ex menta aquata, sir, horse mint oil, ex menta sliced rice, sir, bergamot oil, ex menta cigarette, மென்டா அவன்ட்ரஸ் படிச்சா மென்டல் ஆயிடும். ஒழுங்கு மரியாதை பேரை போட்டு தொலைக்கிறது. Alright. Supplier is any unregistered person. Supplier is any unregistered person. Sir, and the recipient is any registered person. If the supplier supplies any oil which are not coming from our mouth and the recipient is a registered person, then the recipient who are situated in taxable territory is the person liable to pay. Next one. Yes, sir. On a reverse charge basis. Then silk yarn. Any person who manufactures silk yarn from raw silk or silkworm cocoons for supply of silk yarn. Any registered person, sir, is located in taxable territory is the person liable to pay raw cotton. Cotton? Raw cotton. It's not cotton. Raw cotton. Supplier is agriculturalist and recipient is any registered person located in taxable territory. Supply of lottery. Supply of lottery. State government, union territory or any local authority local lottery distributor or an agent, selling agent. That means the state government, union territory or any local authority has simply pushed their responsibility of GST for lottery. We know that actionable claim, sir, excludes lottery, betting, gambling, casinos, online. These are items which are liable to GST. Yeah. In that, my dear lovable students, lottery has been added on reverse charge basis. Used vehicle, that is second hand. Seized and confiscated goods, old and used goods, waste and scrap. Sir, Central Ministry Railway or government excluding of railway state, that is Indian government, union territory or an authority, local authority, to any other person, registered person. So the registered person who are situated in the taxable territory is the person liable to pay GST on. The last item, with that list comes to an end. Very good. Priority sector lending certificate by any registered person to any registered person. The recipient registered person is the person who are liable to pay tax on reverse charge basis. So we can call 1, 2, 3, then following essential oil other than oil of citrus fruit, that is fourth one, then silk yarn, fifth one, raw material, supply of lottery, second-hand vehicles, seized and confiscated goods, old and used goods, waste and scrap, priority sector lending certificate. So these are the item for which, my dear lovable students, we are adding RCM under 9.3, which has been notified only for CA final, which has not been notified for CA inter, which is not there in the statutory update of inter book, which is there only in the final book. Okay. So these are the items which are covered for RCM. Number one, so the cashew nuts, not shelled or peeled, BD wrapper leaves, that is tendu leaves, tobacco leaves, following essential oil other than those of citrus fruit, then silk yarn, raw cotton, supply of lottery, used vehicle, seized and confiscated goods and used goods and waste and scrap. Priority sector lending certificate. Repeat once again. Cashew nuts not shelled or peeled, BD wrapper leaves which are tendu leaves, tobacco leaves, essential oil other than those of citrus fruit, silk yarn, raw cotton, supply of lottery, used vehicle or seized and confiscated goods, old and used goods, waste and scrap, priority sector. Repeat once again, shall we? Once again, cashew nuts not shelled or peeled, BD wrapper leaves or tendu leaves, tobacco leaves, following essential oil other than those of citrus fruit, silk yarn, raw cotton, supply of lottery, used vehicles or seized and confiscated goods, old and waste and scrap, and priority sector. And we can say that, sir, the recipient is any other person, the only exception, any other person, lottery distributor or an agent. Even though he is not a person, registered person, he has to take compulsory registration under section 24. That is the recipient of the lottery ticket. Hello, sir. And he has to pay tax on RCM. So lottery distributor or an agent. Only here they are marking the compulsory registration. Correct? Yes, sir. And any registered person. Shall we? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We already know the list of RCM under 9.3. So now under 9.3 we are adding both of services and goods at CA final level. For services we are well versed. We know, sir, girls. Correct? GIRLS. G stands for Goods Transport Agent, Insurance Agent, Recovery Agent, Legal Services by Arbitral Tribunal, Security Services and Sponsorship Services. Right up. Yes, sir. Number 2. Legal Services by Individual Advocate or Group of Advocate including Senior Advocate. Services provided by government or local authority to a director of a, sir, immovable property, services provided by government or local authority by way of renting of immovable property, services provided by way of developmental rights transfer of floor space index, long-term lease of land. With regard to the fourth one, original work relating to musical, dramatical, artistical, original work relating to literary, that is services provided by a author, renting of motor vehicle, services provided by a person who are situated outside India to a person who are situated in India as per 5.3. Actually, this is an intra-state supply, correct? Sorry, interstate supply, but the list is an intra-state supply. So this should be covered under N3, 5.3. Then bank, services provided by an individual direct selling agent, services provided by a business facilitator to business correspondent, services provided by an agent of business correspondent to business correspondent, services provided by member of overseeing committee to RBI, lending of securities, correct? Yes, sir. So we have done the list of NSR goods. In that, sir, services, first we will see one amendment area, sir, which is applicable for both inter and final. They have slightly changed the, sir, services by government or local authority to an entity. In that, they have added one word. So this word is important. Services by government or local authority to an entity. Service supplied by any government, central government, state government, union territory or an authority. Excluding renting of any property. Because for renting of immovable property, we are having special provisions, correct? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Or service specified below. That means for this item, it is FCM. It is an but even for renting of immovable property, RCM provisions will be applicable, provided the renting of immovable property has been provided to a registered person, correct? Yes, if it is to a registered person, if it is to a unregistered person, FCM, right? Yes, sir. Service specified below, services provided by N of Post, Department of Post and Ministry of Railway, that is Indian Railway. They have added that word. If any service has been provided by Ministry of Railway, Indian Railway and Department of Post, it is forward charge mechanism. So to the list of FCM, they have added one more item, that is Ministry of Indian Railway. Is this, sir, FCM or RCM? FCM, because this is excluding, correct? So any service provided by government or an authority, local authority to a business entity located in taxable territory is the person liable to pay GST, correct? Other than two items. Number one, renting of immovable property, specified services. For that specified services, we are classifying into three categories. Yes, earlier, it was only Department of Post. Now, services provided by Department of Post and the services provided by Ministry of Railway, Ministry of Indian Railway. There is no change in the second part. Service in relation to aircraft or vessel, either inside or outside the precincts of the port or an airport, and transport of what or what. For this item, my dear lovable students, RCM will be, RCM will not be applicable, FCM will be. So, services provided by, like this we can consolidate, services provided by government or an authority, local authority, hello, to an entity, business entity, other than. This other than means for this RCM cases will not be applicable. Number one, renting of immovable property, correct? Yes, number two, specified services. Are you really with me? Yes, the specified services classified into three categories. Number one, services provided by Department of Post and services provided by Ministry of Indian Railway. What, sir? Department of Post and Ministry of Indian Railway is saying that we will take the responsibility of paying the tax on forward charge basis. We will not disturb the recipient. We will not ask them to take compulsory registration. Are you really with me? Yes, so, Ministry of Post and Department of Post and Ministry of Indian Railway. That means this Ministry of Indian Railway is a new addition to our list which was not earlier for the last examination. So Ministry of Indian Railway is FCM. Correct? Yes, next one, sir. Services provided by government or local authority in relation to aircraft or vessel either inside or outside the precincts of the port. Inside or outside the precincts of the port. Are you really with me? Sir, the next one, the third one, transportation of goods and passengers. For these three items, sir, we have to apply the forward charge mechanism. Sir, for the remaining item, we have to apply the reverse charge mechanism. For that, renting of immovable property, you have to again classify it into two categories. Yes, because we are having renting of any property, immovable property. A specific provision is that service supplied by government, excluding Ministry of Railway, because we already understood that Ministry of Railway, that is Indian Railway, has been NSCM. FCM. That NSCM la varadu. By way of renting of immovable property to a person registered under the CGST Act. That is, service provider is central government, state government, union territory or local authority other than Ministry of Railway. Other than to any person registered under the CGST Act, then RCM will be applicable. Service by way of renting of any dwelling, residential dwelling. It is service provider is any person, include this guy, even the government also. Sir, to any registered person, then, sir, RCM will be applicable. So we can classify it like this. Renting of any property, immovable property can be classified into two categories. Number one, sir, renting of immovable property. Shall we write that amendment, add that amendment? Yes, they are having now other than Indian Railway. Indian Railway always NSCM. FCM, whether it is registered person or unregistered person. Okay, right. To a registered person, to a unregistered person. To a any person na? Registered person na, sir, RCM will be applicable. Sir, if it is unregistered person na, FCM will be applicable. Are you really with me? So this is the one line summary. So they have added one more item. Service provided by government or local authority to a business entity other than renting of immovable property and specified services. Renting of any property, immovable property to a registered person, RCM will be applicable. To an unregistered person, FCM will be applicable. Specified services. Specified? There are three specified services are there. For all the three are forward charge mechanism. Number one, services provided by Department of Post and Ministry of Indian Railway. Services provided by government or local authority in relation to aircraft or vessel, either inside or outside the precincts of the port or airport. Services provided by government or local authority in relation to transportation of goods and passengers. These three things are forward charge mechanism. These are the second amendment. Number one, they have added the list of goods which are supposed to be taxed on reverse charge basis. The list has been added for CA final. Number two, they have changed instead of in addition to the Department of Post, which is always FCM, they have added one more person to the FCM list, that is Ministry of Indian Railway. They have added, sir, they have amended the third part, director of a company or body corporate. That means if the service provider is, sir, director and the service recipient is company, we understood that the company or the body corporate located in taxable territory is the person liable to pay GST on reverse charge basis. So what is the services? Any services. What is it? Any services. Service provider is either director of a company or in a corporate. Then the company or body corporate located in taxable territory is the person liable to pay GST. In that, there is no change. But they have clarified that there is one exception. What exception is saying that service by way of renting of immovable property. Service by way of for example, sir, I am a director of a company. I am providing directorship services. I am providing renting of immovable property services. For renting of immovable property, FCM should be applicable. Any services provided, we said no. In that any services, they created an exception. That is, if directorship service has been provided by the director to the company, company is the person liable to pay GST on reverse charge basis. Whereas director owns a building, that building has been letted out to the company. So director is not providing the directorship services. Director is providing the renting of immovable property. Then the person liable to pay GST is the director. He has to collect. Then the director of a company or body corporate in his private or in a capacity, personal capacity, then the person liable to pay GST is the director of the company. So this can be analyzed like this, my dear lovable students. The next one, sir, the director, that is the third amendment which I want to say to you. Director classified into two categories. And now for our examination, sir, it is directorship services. What services? Directorship services means director services basically. Okay, wow. It is NSCM, RCM. Either the dash or dash company or body corporate will pay the tax at RCM. Correct? Yes, sir. Now coming here, my dear lovable students, renting of any property, immovable property at dash or dash capacity, personal or private capacity, at personal or private capacity. Correct? For this, RCM will not be applicable, FCM will be applicable. Director is the person liable to pay GST. Director is the person liable to pay GST. Are you all really with me? Yes, sir. These are the major changes in the list. Why I have discussed today, I have noted the changes because from tomorrow when I revise this part, we can incorporate the change and we can revise. Mainly three changes I have highlighted. Number one, list of goods RCM under 9353 has been added to CA final level. Number two, services provided by Department of Post. In that they have added one more person, Ministry of Indian Railway. That means both are now FCM. Earlier also services by Department of Post is FCM. To that one more friend has been added, which is service by Ministry of Indian Railways. The third change, earlier director, if any service provided to the company or body corporate, the company or body corporate is the person liable to pay GST on reverse charge basis. There is no change about it. In that, sir, when we talk about that, any services was there. Any services include renting of immovable property also. But they have come up with a clarification that in that any services, what we will not allow, renting of immovable property by a director to the company at dash or dash capacity, personal or private capacity. The director is the person liable to pay tax. That is at FCM and not at RCM. These are the major changes in this. So today we have done mainly the changes of the listed, whatever we have studied in the class. Then tomorrow onwards, I will start revising, and this change I have already highlighted in the 9.3 and 5.3 category, my dear lovable students. IGST, RCM are there. IGST, RCM, the service provider is situated outside India and the service recipient is situated in India. The service recipient is the person liable to pay GST. There is no doubt about it. But sir, we are having OIDAR. Yes, the service recipient is a taxable online recipient or non-taxable online recipient. If it's a taxable online recipient, taxable online recipient will pay tax at RCM. Whereas if the recipient is a non-taxable online recipient, FCM will be applicable. Right? Yes, sir. So we are having transportation of goods by vessel from a place outside India till the customs station of clearance in India. That IGST related exemption was there, yes, which has been removed or deleted from the Act. That is the fourth amendment in the 5.3 or NSR 9.3 or 5.3. that is IGST RCM le. This is CGST RCM yeah. IGST RCM le import of goods by vessel from a place outside India till the customs station of clearance in India has been removed. Paka.
Yes, sir.
So these are the major and main changes, my dear lovable students. So I can summarize in one line. These are the major amendments for your examination from this area. Number one, they have amended 5.1 because what amendment they brought in 5.1 is they have said that online money gaming. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Online money gaming, IGST has to be levied. They specifically said that if whenever you are importing the goods through the QTA Customs Tariff Act, we will be levying IGST under section 3 subsection 7. Correct?
Yes,
but for online gaming alone, sir, online money gaming alone, we will not leave that goods to the QTA. We will deal that goods with the GST Act itself, IGST Act itself. Sir, the levy of IGST of all the goods, the levy is taken care by IGST Act, but collection is taken care by the Customs Act. Correct? Goods naale apdidan poittu irukku, but they created one exception for that, which is supply of online money gaming. It is a goods. IGST will be levied, but customs you don't deal that. We will deal that as per the enacted GST Act, which is enacted IGST Act. That is the first amendment. They have made changes in 5 subsection 1. The second one, they have added the list. Are you really with me? Added the list of goods under what and what? 5.3 and N3 9.3. 5.3 and 9.3 they have added. The third one, yes sir, to the list of sir FCM, which is exception to government services provided by Indian Railway, Ministry of Indian Railway has been added. That means any services provided by Ministry of Indian Railway is NSCM, FCM. The fourth amendment, they have given directorship services. It was earlier any services, now they created an exception. Correct? And the fifth one, transportation of goods by vessel from a place outside India till the customs station of clearance in India has been removed, my dear lovable students. These are the major changes in 9.5 or 5.5 as the case may be for our examination. In the coming classes, I will be discussing these things including amendment. Then you will be feeling so much comfortable. These changes are important, very important and very, very important for our examination. So have a daily study. Don't worry about what will happen tomorrow, whether the exam will be postponed, whether for my examination 3 attempts are available or not, whether this attempt itself, or it is May or June, there is a talk like that. Hello sir. So don't worry about all these things. Whether it is May or June, if it is June, what you are going to do? Take 1 month rest and you are going to say that when it is June or July. So anyway we have to study. If it is June also, we can't complete the portion. Don't worry at all. Let them keep it next November also. Still we can't complete because that much portion is there for CA level. So why are you worrying about that? Once sir, don't have any sort of confusion. Let them talk anything. Sir, be very fixed and determined and work as if we are going to write for a May examination. So daily studying, consistency is the key to success. Revision is the key to success. Carry yourself very happily and enjoy the revision series if you are getting benefit out of it. Share your happiness as comments because that is the driving force. Then only I will know that how you are getting and any changes required, I will change accordingly. We'll meet sir for full revision of 9.3 or 5.3 as the case may be, and we'll be revising this including amendment. That's why I have exclusively done an amendment video to go through the list. Thank you. Bye.